Welcome back, everyone, to Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans, right here on the YouTube and the Twitch, and wherever you get your Impact Wrestling podcast related audio. Folks, this was an absolutely hot episode, and we have a wonderful guest waiting for us. Let's introduce the rest of the panel here real quick. To my left, your right, Mr. Front Row Bill is in his house.
Hello.
We've got in the smoking section down below, we've got Alicia. How you doing?
Hey.
And the craziest guy from across the pond from Team TNI UK, Bison, is here with us. What is up?
Hey guys, great to see everybody. But it was a good show tonight, another good show. So really excited to talk about it, and of course, speak to our wonderful guest.
Yes. So I'm glad you came in here for that. And so, without further ado, sorry, just double checking stuff here. Let's bring in our guest straight from this past weekend's Knockdown. On the Impact Insiders or Impact Plus, wherever you watched it, she was in the tournament, Jamie Senegal. Hello, Jamie.
Welcome.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Welcome to the show.
My phone's doing a thing right now.
Oh, no.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
You're good.
Y'all said okay. We got you. Wow, you've had quite the amount of attention thrown your way with everything going on in the world of wrestling.
I love it. I love attention.
Now, I'm sorry to say that I did not see the NWA Empower, but I know you were a part of that as well. But most of us have seen the recent, I should say all of us have seen the recent Impact Knockdown that you were a part of. And we'll talk about a little bit of everything. First of all, Jamie, why don't you talk to us about how you got involved in the world of professional wrestling?
So my Aunt Dawn Gundrum, was known for traveling with the WWE for a really long time, and it was a normal day for like Bret Hart and Scott Hall to like show up at her house because she was friends with everyone because she used to drive everyone around. And she really got my stepsister Brooke and I really into it. And then as time progressed, my dad introduced me to a friend that he has who was an indie wrestler in the 80s and 90s in Pennsylvania named Doc Johnny Wildside. And Aunt Dawn and Doc Johnny introduced me to my trainer.
Oh, nice. Now I want to throw it around the panel here a little bit because I know some of my esteemed panelists here are a little more familiar with your stuff, so I want to give them a chance as well to ask some questions. And I know someone who is absolutely ecstatic to find out that you were going to be on the show tonight is Alicia.
Yes, me. Hi. So excited you're here. I guess my overall question would be to continue off of what J-Bone was saying. So you were introduced to wrestling through your family. When exactly did you start training? And especially for the fans who don't know, when did you make your debut?
So it's kind of crazy. When I was in 4th grade, Doc Johnny, I was like fiending to wrestle. Like I was like a crazy person. And there's actually a little school right down the road from me called The Dungeon that's owned by Mark Mest. And Cesaro and Chris Hero and all these people lived like 2 minutes away from me. So I would go there in like 4th grade and like Chris Hero would be like whooping me or I would be like reffing matches and stuff. But then that kind of faded away and that opportunity left. And then eventually I started training again when I was a junior in high school. And I had my debut in June 2015.
Awesome.
Okay, so you've been around a handful of years, give or take a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Bill, are you familiar with Jamie's stuff? Do you want to ask her a
Yeah,
question?
well, I first saw Jamie, I guess, in Atomic Championship Wrestling out there in Reading. I think at the Reverb Club, and definitely like when you see Jamie wrestle, definitely catches your attention. Stands out in the ring, great charisma. So just really, you're from the area, right? You're from locally to that area. So
Yeah.
what got you involved with that promotion? Because I know you won some titles there, and that at least that's where my first impression of you came from, and it kind of got you on the, I'd say, the map, because I think you went from there and then maybe to CZW after that, while still going back and forth. So I know what Twisted Tate I think runs at, but I don't know, how did you get connected with Atomic to get started?
So there was a local show happening in 2014 in November, and it was a RCW show in the Temple Fire Company. And I had gone there, and my Aunt Dawn introduced me to Rob Noxious, and I was going to train with Rob Noxious, but he was too far away. He was like really unnecessarily far. It was like 3 hours or something. It was pretty far. And I was like, man, there has to be someone closer. And then like over time, I found out about Atomic. And like, I think maybe like 2 months later, I went to an Atomic show. And then January 5th, I signed the contract. I have the contract framed right here. It's right there for when I started training.
Nice.
Very cool. And I know, because I know it was Atomic and Rogue Women's Wrestling, and Lufisto was involved with that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of some good people there working there to get you started.
Yeah, I loved being around Luffy at such a young time in my career and life in general, because I was like 17, 18 when I met her. Was like some of the most impressionable, best experiences of my life, because I saw what like being a wrestler was, and like truly like what being a wrestler was, and it made me so hungry for it.
Now, speaking of that, that might have answered the question, but I was going to ask you, what has been some of your early inspirations as you either before getting into wrestling or as you started your wrestling career?
When I was a fan, and up until even now, the girls that inspired me most were Melina and Ashley Massaro and Mickey James and Daphne and Raka Khan and all these people with huge personalities that were so great in the ring, and I always loved them. But honestly, once I came to the indies and I saw this level of women's wrestling, that I truly, like, in my head, I knew what the indies were and I saw videos, but to me, it felt like another universe. It never felt like it was real to me. So when I came and I saw these people, I was so amazed. And I really fell in love with Kimberly, and she really, really inspired me from the moment I met her. When I was like 17, 18 years old, she was like my drive. I would like listen to her theme song when I would go to the gym. And I loved Veda Scott. She was one of my favorite people to be around, and Renee Michelle.
Oh, so and now seeing them, well, I mean, I understand it's pre-taped, but for the sake of everyone who watched it this past weekend, seeing them this past weekend and working with them, that had to be almost mind-blowing for you.
It's so crazy because like I've always loved them. Actually, Renee was the first woman that I met while I was in wrestling, like in general. So I thought that I always, even though we're like this, it always feels so crazy when we work together, because just knowing each other from so little until where we're going and where we're at now is like crazy. So just being there and having that time and knowing that like kind of they pushed me to be my best and now I'm here with them was like the most mind-blowing thing.
There we go. And I want to invite the rest of my panel, jump in here wherever you want, because I want to make sure everyone here gets the chance to ask anything of Jamie. So that being said, and you've listed off some inspirations here. Can you talk about how you got involved within the last couple months with the NWA and then and Impact Wrestling?
So honestly, I really, right before Mickey and I came in contact, Mickey James and I got in contact, my Grammy passed away, and I was really sad. So I blame part of NWA happening on Grammy. I think she gave me that, but also the other part I give to Daph, because Daphne tweeted a picture of us, and she was like, "Oh, I love my baby doll," like whatever she said, and that tweet, and Mickey cites it too. That's the tweet that really got Mickey to notice me and to reach out to me, and that's what got us in contact.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So can I just ask? Sorry, Joe. Can I just ask?
No, it's okay, boys. Go ahead.
No worries. Can I just ask quickly, Jamie, that you've mentioned Daph there. You mentioned Daphne there, who for me was, I would say, the Scream Queen was basically my favorite female wrestler in TNA back in the day. She was just, she was different. She was, oh, I'm getting emotional because she was, to me, she was an amazing talent, and I love watching her perform. And I love the fact that you've mentioned it. And obviously, I know that you class yourself as, kind of almost like an adopted daughter, or however you look at it that way. Can you please give us some insight into how your relationship built with Daphne? Because I think it's I think we'd all like to know that. I think. It's a beautiful thing to see how you clearly have such an affection and love for Daphne. So I'd love to know how that all sort of kind of came about.
It really came together in such a genuine way. Like, it was such a nice thing. Like, it totally was we were meant to be together. She was meant to be my mom. And I was working Atomic Championship Wrestling at Reverb, and she was there. And I was so nervous because she was one of my favorites, and her theme song was my ringtone for like years. Like, I was so terrified. And I walked in. I was late that day, and I walked in, and she was running her seminar. And I was like, "Oh, well, she's already doing the seminar. I can't just show up. Oh my gosh, I'd be so rude." So I ran upstairs, and I was putting my makeup on, because also when I show up to a show with no makeup on, I'm always like, "Oh my gosh, I hope no one sees me." So I was upstairs, and then I saw she was done, and I was like, I'm going to go up to her. And then I couldn't. I was like, oh my gosh, it's her. Like, I cannot do this. And I was putting on my makeup, and she literally came up to me, and she goes, "Do you have any jewelry?" And I'm like, yeah. So I gave her, actually, I set this on my vanity. I gave her this. It was a bracelet, and she managed Tess Valentine against Penelope Ford that night, and she wore it, and she broke it, which is completely okay, because now it's a cute little skeleton hand that I can sit here. But she was watching me call my match, and then I was wrestling. I don't even remember who I was wrestling that day. I can see what she looks like, but I can't remember who it was. But in the middle of the match, when we were calling it and going over it, I just stopped, and she was standing right there, and I just went, "I'm so sorry, I don't mean to be weird right now, but I have I have a picture of you on my wall, and I love you so much, and your theme song is my ringtone, and you're my favorite person on the planet." And she just started crying and gave me the biggest hug. And then while we were crying, the match started, and the music started playing. And at that time, I was coming out to Thunder Kiss 65 by White Zombie, and she went, like, made that exact face. And she went, "That's my favorite song." And then it literally just was history after that.
Oh man, that's a beautiful story. Beautiful story. Really love that. And I think sort of kind of one of the loveliest things that I saw. Obviously your ring gear is a tribute to Daph as well, which is I think is wonderful. And I love the way when you at Knockouts Knockdown, when you came out, you sort of kind of did the thing to your back and all that kind of stuff. And I just, for me, it was just a really, really cool moment for the entire show when you came out, and I just think it's great. Can you also let me know then, or can you also let everybody know, not just me, exactly how it came about that you ended up on Knockouts Knockdown? I mean, was it Gail that contacted you, or was it Mickey, or how did that pan out?
So Gail was doing the signing the next day after Empower, and my dad came to NWA. And I've known everyone for years, so I was just taking him around, introducing him to everybody. And then Gail was like, Jamie, can I have your number? I'm gonna need to talk to you soon. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And then literally the very next day when I landed in Pennsylvania, I got the call. And I was just like in awe. And I literally messaged Scott Demore and was like, thank you so much. I can't believe, because Scott, I've been backstage at Impact a few times and he knows me pretty well. So like he knows how much I love Impact. So I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. And I was just so emotional. It was crazy. I literally ran out the back door and screamed up into the universe and yelled, thank you.
That's beautiful.
There, that is amazing. One
That's
last thing from me, because I don't want to hog you. In terms of your future, do you think that we may see more of Jamie Senegal on Impact? Because I think it's something that a lot of people would like to see.
I hope so. I got to win the Knockouts Championship for not only myself, but for Daft too.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's true. Absolutely.
We have
I
a double
love that.
reign coming. It's a double reign.
That's a hell of a goal. Yeah, definitely. Now I heard you mention in another interview that that you kind of already consider yourself a knockout and being a big fan of the brand of TNA turning it to Impact Wrestling. Number one, what drew you to this brand? And number two, who has been some of your favorite knockouts through the years?
So I really loved the Divas, but for some reason it just felt not as edgy as I wanted it to be. And I think I really loved Melina and Ashley specifically for their edge. And then I remember I found in like, it had to be maybe 2007 or so, I found a PWI Women's 50. And in it, I saw Angelina Love and Velvet Sky. And I remember seeing they had whole pictures. I remember the pictures. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, these girls have like a similar aesthetic as to what Ashley has and that really edginess that I love. So I remember immediately being like, I need to watch this. And then I found it. And I fell in love immediately because I was like, this is the edgy product I've been fiending for. This has the grit from the women that I've always wanted. And the women are getting to do crazy matches like battle royals that turn into a singles match that has a ladder. Like, what is that? That was just a match that I didn't even know could possibly exist at that time. That was happening. And watching that, I fell in love with Gail and Kong and the beautiful people and Tracy Brooks and Christy Hemme. And I love all of them. Raka Khan, she's one of my favorites. I thought she was so dope. I thought her look was so different. I love Daft. There's just every girl on that roster for me gets an A+.
Right. Everyone brings something different. It's like that. There's not just a bunch of copycats. That's the great thing about Impact Wrestling and the classic TNA knockouts. You know.
Yeah.
Now something else that came out of the Knockouts Knockdown that we all found out was this great organization called Tag Me In. Can you talk about Tag Me In a little bit and your involvement?
Tag Me In is really special. Christy Hemme had reached out to all of us a week or so before the show. And I think it was like a week or so. She was telling us all that she was starting this and she wanted us to sit down and have a thing. And I thought it was very important because as long as I've been in wrestling, I always felt like mental health was the forbidden fruit that no one could have, no one could even talk about it. So I always wanted to, as a young wrestler dealing with my own stuff, I've always put my mental health into my gimmick. And that's one thing that Daff and I always related to a lot. So then there would be times where it would go, you know, my character would be so open about it, or I would be so open about it that people would actually be like, you know, you shouldn't talk about it as much as you should because it's probably going to make you lose opportunities. And it really upset me because it's such a huge thing for me. And it felt like I was being silenced. And then having Christy reach out and say, hey, we're starting this program where we can tell our stories, I immediately started to cry. Like that was immediately so emotional for me because we every single person wrestling has a story. We're here because something in our lives messed us up, and this is our release. Every single one of us. It doesn't matter who it is. And I just think that we're put on this pedestal and we don't get to talk about it. And I think that us being able to step down from the pedestal for a second and humanize ourselves will make not only the fans feel less alone, I think that it'll also make fans kind of treat us differently too, because I think fans really just see us as these entities and then type whatever they want, and they're like, oh, this person's not having a bad day, they're Jamie Senegal, and typing away. I think it's just so healthy for everything, and I love seeing the names and the people who are getting involved to make a better, safer world, not even just in professional wrestling, just for everyone.
Yeah, I could tell you just from being on this podcast and talking to our audience that, I mean, this past between a year to 2 years with everything going on around the world has been insanely hard on everyone's mental health. It's like whether you're a wrestling fan or not, but of course we've all got that tie because we're doing these podcasts and these shows. And I have to say it's so inspirational to see you and everyone else from Impact Wrestling and beyond in the wrestling industry to be involved in something like this. Because I mean, I can say, and I've been saying this for years on my own podcast and this podcast. This is why we watch wrestling, to kind of get away from all the outside BS,
Yeah.
Just and then to hear about this organization is so refreshing. So thank you for being involved in this and to shine some light out there that because mental health is so important to get the conversation going. Excuse me. To end the stigma of that you can't talk about your own stuff and like that. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I want to open it up to the rest of the panel if they got something else to say or ask.
Well, I would like to know, do you have any upcoming appearances scheduled?
I do. So this weekend, I actually had a show cancel on me, so I have off this weekend. So I think I'm going to go to Florida a little early. But on the 23rd, there is at the AML building in North Carolina. I'm not sure where in North Carolina that is, but there's a show happening that I'm going to be on. I'm not sure if I can say what it is because I don't know if it's a surprise or not. I don't really know. It's a really like crazy little thing that's happening. But then the day after that, on the 24th, I'm wrestling Dimitri Action Jackson at at Mayhem on Mills on Mill Street in Orlando in downtown, which I'm excited about. And then I'm going to have a casket match at GCW in Tampa the 29th of October. And then the 30th, I'm back in North Carolina defending my women's championship at XWW. Then I come home on Halloween and I wrestle at the I stunt fight at the Sanctuary Stunt Studio. And then I leave there and go to Arizona.
Oh, wow. You're all over the grid. I love that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Check it out if you guys can.
Yeah. And I also included Jamie's Twitter and a link for Jamie's Linktree down below in the description of the video. Is there anything else that you would like to plug? Pro wrestling tees, anything like that to let people know, where they can find your merch, get in touch with you?
I do have something very important I would like to plug. I'm not sure what the bid's looking like right now. I haven't followed it the last day or so, but we're bidding. We have a bid out there on eBay for signed posters for Knockouts Knockdown that's signed by everyone. And then we also have a huge canvas that was used that night that is spray painted and says Scream Queen on it in green, and then says Knockouts Knockdown with the date. And we're bidding those. So if anybody can place some bids, the more money that we raise here at Impact, we're actually donating to the Trevor Project. which I find very, very, very important, because that is a whole nother forbidden fruit, which is being touched, which is the mental health of queer people that wrestling would never touch. So that's very, very important.
Okay. All right. There you go, folks. Check that out. I know there's plenty of people that watch this show that are, including some people on this panel, that are interested in some merch. So, anything else from the panel?
Well, I'll just ask because obviously you faced Tasha Steelz in the Knockouts. Now she's from Jersey. Had you guys ever faced each other before? Or was that your first time one-on-one in a match?
So I think I've worked a few shows with her in the past, and I used to run a women's division out of the Sanctuary Stunt Studio. And there was one show I ran where I wrestled Sue Young that I booked her on, and I believe she wrestled Antoinette or Damian Gibbs. I'm not quite sure. It was one or the other. I know the two were together, but I don't know which ones. So that happened. Other than that, I haven't really worked too many shows with her, and that was the first time we saw each other in a very long time.
All right. Well, I think that's about all the time we have right now for Jamie Senegal. Jamie, I just want to thank you so much for being on. Can we get a round of applause for Jamie?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I love y'all.
So go look up Jamie on the socials. Go hit her up and go see her when she comes to a town near you for some professional wrestling. Go get some merch, and we certainly, as we love the brand of Impact Wrestling, we hope to see you back with them sooner than later, and hope you just stay safe in everything you do down the road.
Yeah, it's fantastic to have you on the show, Jamie. It really is. And I got to be honest, I was shocked when you replied, because not everybody does. You were super stoked to want to come on the show. I don't know whether you've seen the show before. So if you have, fantastic. If not, no worries. I hope you check us out in the future. And maybe later on down the line, we could have you on again, and we could talk about some other stuff as well. I think that would be amazing. And I know that Alicia there would be extremely ecstatic if that happened. But yeah, no, absolutely. I just want to say from here across the pond in the UK, thank you so much.
Worldwide, Jamie. We all love you.
Thank y'all. I love y'all. That was so fun, and I love doing media, because every time I do media, I feel like I make friends, and I love having friends. So you're all my friends.
We love you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jamie.
Awesome. Thanks for being on and spreading the word about everything that you're involved in, and best wishes to you.
Thank you.
Take care,
Thanks,
Jamie.
Jamie.
We'll talk.
Take care. Bye-bye.
See ya. All right.
Oh, Bill's in the spotlight, baby.
Bill's in
Much.
That was great.
Get me off the
I love
screen.
Jamie.
Yes, Jamie's
I'm so
very.
happy to see her on the Impact Knockdown.
What a
great to see the
guest. Wow,
success
I got goosebumps. That was great. That was a lot of fun.
My palms were sweaty. I was so nervous. That's exciting.
Yeah, I thought that was great, and I'm so happy she came on the show. It was just a potluck email, guys. I was like, oh shit, who shall I go with? Who shall I try? And I tried a few, and she came back, and I was like, oh yes, So yeah, fantastic
The stars
guest.
aligned. Perfect. Thank you, Bison.
There you go.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Bison. You've been on a roll lately. For anyone who does not watch the UK contingent of our podcast from the other side of the Atlantic, I'm not going to try my UK accent. It'd be horrible.
We got
It'd be
our Aussie accents earlier.
Oh, and that was just we'll get into that later. Bison's been on a roll with his group of guys, the Joker and Simply Steve. They've been absolutely on a roll lately with the guests and everything going on. Please go check out TNI UK. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, yesterday's guest was fantastic. We had an upcoming guy called Charles Crowley. He we originally booked him in for like 15, 20 minutes, and it's sort of kind of knowing that we had a pretty stacked show to talk about knockouts, knockdowns, etc. And to be honest, like the guy was so good. I think we almost went half an hour with him. But we had some cool stuff to talk about. He's a great guy. Well worth checking him out. So go and check out Charles Crow. That's at Crowley Carnival on Twitter. He's well worth a check out. He's done some really cool stuff for like video packages and all sorts of stuff like that, as well as obviously his in-ring stuff. Definitely well worth checking him out. So just thought I'd throw that one in there.
There we go. So, and I know it's late there, Bison. So if you ever got to cut out, if you get an attack of the sleepies, just let us know. We'll let you go.
I will. Don't worry.
You crazy SOB. We love you.
What time is it over there, Bison?
Sorry?
What's the time over there?
At the moment, it is 22:04. The funny thing is, I may actually duck out a bit early today because I've actually got to get my backside over to Heathrow Airport and pick up a couple of friends from your neck of the woods that are currently in the air flying to the UK. So, boom. So there you go. So come in and stay with me for the weekend. So looking forward to that.
Nice.
All right, get that TV deal and we'll all head over.
Yeah, exactly. Can I just say a big shout out to Zach Bonifer there? That's perfect. Yeah, I like it. The BBC, Beefalo Bison channel. I love it.
It's a whole new version of the BBC. They didn't even know this number. All right. So, shall we jump into tonight's Impact Wrestling? Or wait, should we cover some news first?
I think we should.
You got some news, J-Bone?
Is there? Well, there might be.
I'm gonna play the jingle. I play the jingle. The jingle. You have news.
Here we go.
People demand it.
All right, play it.
All right.
Jiminy Christmas.
And now, J-Bone's Wrestling News. There better be some news. If not, you're fired, J-Bone. Just like Trent, you're fired.
Searching for my fake wrestling news.
Go ahead and fire me. I need a break. I'm just kidding. All right, some news. What shall we talk about? Oh, let's talk about this past some news coming out of this last weekend's Knockouts Knockdown. Now, some of it was spread by a fan or two from pictures at ringside, but then it was made official by the Impact Wrestling site itself, the socials, if you will. So Masha Slamovich, did I get that right? Masha Slamovich is the newest knockout to get signed by Impact Wrestling. Now, whether you are a longtime fan or someone probably newer like myself, or maybe someone else on this panel that may have seen her for the first time at this last weekend special, let's talk about this signing. What do you guys think? Let's start with our own local knockout. Let's start with Alicia.
I want to say anybody who can go head to head with our women's champion is all right in my book, and happy to have her on board. I want all of them to be signed. Like, bring them all, because we need a big loan in the girl zone, okay?
Not the Impact
agree
Zone.
100%.
The girl zone. I like it.
The girl zone, not the Impact Zone, the girl zone.
The girl zone. All right.
More ladies, everybody.
I'll just say, just visiting. Just visiting.
Just visiting. Visitors are fine too. You guys can come, but we need to expand our roster, and everybody who showcased on that show stood out to me in a way that, like, I can't even put words to it. Like, especially Jamie, and I'm not being biased because she was just here, but I'm just a big fan of her, and I just think they're all just so talented, and their move set are so unique and interesting. It's so different compared to what people are doing right now. It's just it'd be a good investment.
Well, and big picture wise, I think it'd be great for someone like Jamie to get that contract too. Someone
got that fucking reference. Yo, okay.
I think you're talking swag fan right here.
Yeah, bro. Anybody who knows who Tori Amos is, like,
little
hey,
cornflake girl action there.
Yeah, right. In my book.
Tori Amos. Wow, just
1997 just popped back.
Oh my god! Back when MTV still played videos, right?
No, they didn't play videos back then either, Jabon.
But they didn't.
No, about 5 years earlier they stopped. Real World was already in like season 5 by then.
Well, I know no, they were still playing videos because that was when the whole like TRL was big.
Yeah, that was about it. But I'm talking when they played videos all the time. Yeah, the TRL was just like the up north doing one Survivor Series match. Like that was what they were doing. Like for you complainers, here's an hour with Carson Daly.
Or their version of a women's tournament, and here's a 1 minute match. Oh, here's a 2 minute match for the ladies. Yeah, it's about the same thing.
Careful how you say that. 2 minute matches for the ladies, Jabon. Settle down.
I'm talking about. I'm talking about wrestling.
Okay. Call it
PG.
Come on, we need an Office reference.
I don't watch The Office, so if there's something going on above my head,
I don't watch
please
it enough to
in.
quote it. Sorry. Here's one. Oh God, it's happening.
There you go. The memes, whatever the memes are.
The attack of the memes. All right. So I'm seeing all these references in the chat now about what I should be bringing up. All right, so let's switch that. Okay, so
we got more knockouts to announce, don't we?
Yeah. Well, so Masha Slamovich has been signed, and she apparently is from Russia. Here's a little Russian segue. I don't have any like Russian jokes or anything.
Rocky IV back in theaters?
Well, no, but that is a hell of a trailer we watched behind the scenes, wasn't it? That was amazing.
He dies.
I can't wait for that game. That's going to be so good. But probably out on 4K Blu-ray as well, or something. I don't know. But I know the big news that we all want to talk about a little bit is the new deal announced today. Let me get it in front of my eyes here just to make sure I get the thing properly talked about. Oh my God, the news. Okay, hang on a second. Is it even in here? Why is it not on here? It's not in here. Oh, there it is. Okay.
You gotta go to the real wrestling news. Not the
I'm sorry. I know it's the most unprofessional professional is J-Bone. Okay, so Impact partners with Global Sports Network Extreme. Expanding the promotion's reach throughout Russia and the Commonwealth. He's using these big $5 words here of independent states. See, now I'm old school. I think of the USSR, but I know it's so much different now. That's all changed. The walls have came down like 20 years ago. All right, so Impact has a new TV deal in Russia and the outskirts of Russia, I guess you could say. And from what I'm hearing, it's a pretty big deal. And we may not talk about the Russian wrestling scene, but still, that's a big chunk of the planet to like expand to right there. What do you guys think about this?
It's good. Everyone should be able to watch Impact Wrestling, right?
I think I've made my thoughts very clear on Twitter earlier on today. I just think that people need to start taking notice because Anthem are creating a global brand. Not that Impact weren't already global, but they literally have just added another 11, 12 countries that they're currently not showing in. So for me, it's kind of when I see stupid statements along the lines of, why would someone like Wyndham want to go to perform in front of 100,000 fans on their channel or whatever it is, that kind of stuff. It winds me up because, I often think to myself, do you actually realize how many people really watch this product, like worldwide. And I'll say this now, and it's going to be for a while yet. AEW may be a big deal in the US. It ain't a big deal here, right? And it ain't a big deal in many other places. I'm not going to say it's not a big. I mean, we are watching it over here, obviously, but it's not as big as it is over in the States currently. And I know for a fact that if Impact was on a channel over here that was a more sort of kind of well-known, channel, say similar channel to what AEW is being shown at the moment, they would probably be getting just as many viewers, if not more, based on the history that we've had here in the UK.
Yeah, Impact outdid WWE back then, right?
Exactly. I mean, we used to do like stupid numbers. We were getting like 100,000, 200,000 fans watching on Challenge TV, for God's sake, right? Which is like probably, one of the worst. Not the worst, but like it's not a particularly massive channel. It's a game channel, for God's sake. It's a gaming channel. Game shows and stuff like that. So but people were definitely getting in there. We were filling out Wembley Arena every single year, as well as other huge venues when they were coming over and doing the tours and everything else. And when you speak to people over here, there is a passion. There is a belief that Impact one day will be back up to where it was back when it was in its prime of TNA at that time when we were getting huge amount of viewers. I just think there's people out there that are, and I hate to say it, and I don't mean to diss any of my American lovely fans, friends and everything else, but sometimes you get stuck in this little bubble, and you think, I know your market is big, but you get stuck in this little bubble, and you think, all that matters is the fans there, and the numbers of a certain TV channel that you're on, and all that kind of stuff. I'm telling you, millions of people around the world in over 130 countries are watching Impact Wrestling.
Right.
That's a fact.
Yeah, it is.
That's one of the reasons it's been around so long. That international audience.
Exactly.
Thank you, Dixie and Company.
There you
Exactly.
go.
Exactly.
Another reason why she's so important to the history of this company, whether you like the booking or not. I mean, that's the business side, is spreading the word, getting the viewership out there.
Yeah, my prediction after Bound for Glory, because I'm believing there will be some big signings. It'll be Slammiversary Part 2, and we haven't talked about it yet on the news, but there's already a big pair of knockouts coming. But then possibly 2 or 3 other big names. We might be back into, we got enough names to do the UK tour. And if the worlds open up enough next year, maybe 2022, like maybe those names get a TV deal by springtime, summer or fall, UK tour. Could happen.
Yeah.
It was
I think this is
right before the pandemic.
I think the interesting thing is that what people don't realize, I mean, at the end of the day, this is some of the reasons why you sort of kind of need that established, kind of draw, which you could say that currently, I mean, maybe the Good Brothers, I suppose, you could say the Good Brothers are in that category, but there just isn't enough. And I for me, it doesn't make a difference because I just love wrestling. I want to see good wrestling. I want to see a good promotion doing a great, producing a great product. But that's because I am a wrestling fan as opposed to necessarily a promotional fan. I like what AEW's doing. I love what Impact do. I love, I'm starting to enjoy the NWA stuff a bit more. And then I've started to watch New Japan Pro Wrestling even more because I'm starting to get into these guys. It was not something I was seeking out before, but I am now. But there is no denying that the biggest promotion to this point is the E. So if you can draw in some guys that have had a lot of exposure via the biggest wrestling promotion in the world, and you can bring them into our promotion, then you're going to draw interest from the networks. You're going to get people go, oh, well, that guy was on WWE, and that guy was, oh my goodness, they're definitely drawing. They're going to draw some views because people are going to want to see them. Now that automatically creates interest from channel. So, and like you say, I still think that the reason that we struggled in the UK is because they've not been coming over. But again, they've not been able to, for whatever reason, we then they were going to come over, and then we had the pandemic hit, and that put a kibosh and all of that, which is a shame. But hopefully, fingers crossed, let's get over it, guys. I want to see, Bill ringside at Wembley Arena. It would be amazing.
There we go.
I'll be waving the flag.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll be there next to him with my flag. Yeah.
Just make sure you bring the right one, Bill.
Well, I support everywhere. I have my Canadian flag. I'll be doing UK flag, maybe a UK and an American flag. Rocky Four.
You can have a combination one. That would be really cool.
Yeah, be like Rocky Four. It's like I could give the Rocky speech.
Yeah.
We could all get along.
It's a moment. It's a moment. He's going to bring his quilt of flags. There we go.
I see you hating on me. Yeah, no, I get it. It's going to be great.
So we also found out within the last day or so, I believe it was, that we've got quite the Knockouts tag team title match. I was going to wait for the show for this, but we'll talk about it now because I know there's some opinions, and then we'll jump into the review. It was announced that this new team that was they announced at the very end of the knockdown that Inspiration is coming to Impact Wrestling, and formerly the Iconics. And we have now just learned within the last 24 hours that they have a Knockouts tag team title opportunity against the Decay. Now, it was put out there that it was seemed like more of a challenge, and they kind of put it in BTI before Impact today. Will Decay accept the challenge? So they kind of wrote it in like that. So I'm like, okay, well that makes it feel a little different, but it's still the same thing that Inspiration is getting a tag team title shot. I want to throw it around the panel here because I know there's some different opinions. Let's start with Alicia. What do you think about this? Are you still excited for this, or do you think it's too soon? What are your thoughts on this?
I'm not really sure. I guess I'm decided. I don't really know. I guess I'll see as it pans out.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Bill.
Well, I know some people were tagging me or when this came out and pretty much saying about, oh, this is hot shotting. Like they're obviously going to win the titles. Like the old TNA thing where somebody comes from up north and wins a title immediately. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they're going to win them. My thought was shenanigans. Maybe the influence get involved, and that's how Tennille gets involved with her friends. But now, after what we saw on the show tonight, because they were obviously going to get a pop, but they're definitely coming in as heels, and that's maybe to satisfy the people. Like they're acting entitled to this shot. Of course, we're getting a title shot. Decay, you're lucky to be in the ring with us. So they're really the beautiful people angle, and I think that will work for them. But they'll hold the Knockouts titles at some point. Maybe it'll be a back and forth with Decay, but I don't think they're going to win it at Bound for Glory. But maybe that live special the following month, maybe Turning Point. But I don't think they'll hot shot the titles to them.
No, I'm with Bill on this one. I think if I was booking this, and I think I've already put it out there, if I was booking this, I would book it so that the influence basically got involved, created some shenanigans, then created a DQ. We then got the inspiration pissed off at the influence. We then get, some kind of like 2 or 3 match sequence with regards to. So obviously Decay retain. We then get some sort of kind of like 2 or 3 match feud thing going on between them, and which will then eventually lead to obviously the inspiration taking out the influence, and then getting a second title shot, and then potentially winning it. Then now. For me, I would say I'd like to see Decay as the tag team champions right the way through now into 2022, because I think that to me makes perfect sense. Give it somebody else at Turning Point, whatever. But we could have amazing feud between the influence and the inspiration. And I still believe this, and I've said it before, that the reason that the influence has been created is for this exact purpose, to give them that feud, right? So they'll have that feud. We'll build the inspiration up, and Hard to Kill. That's when we'll get Decay versus the inspiration, and inspiration will take the title. That's what I think is going to happen. I think that makes perfect sense to me. But we'll just have to see. We'll just have to wait and see. That's the exciting thing. We just don't know, do we?
There you go. So yeah, there's all sorts of opinions going on in the chat, which I figured, but that's healthy, It's all subjective. We all got opinions, pro, con, whatever. I'm excited for it. As long as they're doing something with it and trying to spin a little something on it, I'm okay with it, I guess. I think fans overall are just more excited to finally see them in there because they've been teased since Slammiversary. And of course, because of the whole visa red tape or whatever you want to call it, it unfortunately took a while for them to get that all sorted out. But hey, like I always preach, patience, folks, patience. Good things come to those who wait. And hey, now we got a brand new great Knockouts team coming to Impact Wrestling. So I'm happy about it. So we'll see what happens. Not gonna pre-book too much stuff. Bison, do you do all the booking you want? No, we'll save the predictions for another day. So yeah, so that's about it for the news.
This is interesting because I saw Sammy tweeting. Sammy's referencing that he could show up at any time again. Now he's not saying in what capacity, but he's kind of. It's interesting what Sammy's starting to hint at. Could somehow we have all gotten lucky and maybe it's not as serious? I don't know. But it's just interesting that Sammy's all of a sudden putting it out there. I assume he'll be on a camera roll, not in ring, but they're going to reintroduce him some kind of way, like a manager, but we'll see.
Hey, if he can handle it, if he can handle the travel, because I know traveling is like a big thing with the whole, you break your leg, you can't travel.
Yeah, that's the issue more than anything else, really.
Yeah. I don't know. We can't assume anything in the world of professional.
Yeah, but it's him putting it out there for whatever reason. He's kind of acting like he's doing something.
You want to keep your name out there, and I'm sure he's ambitious as ever to come back as soon as possible. So who knows what's up Sammy's sleeve and Impact Wrestling sleeve, for that matter.
I think you only have to look back to the way that they used Eric and the way that they've used Rosemary, and when they were carrying injuries. Rosemary was injured for like nearly 18 months, but she was on TV every single week. That's the beauty, and I think is one of the things that Impact do really, really well is to keep people relevant and keep people in your mind. They will find something. There will be something for Sammy. There will.
Oh, yeah. Because he can do, obviously he did it at the IPWF show, the manager role, which was fantastic. You could put him in color. He could be shades of Macho Man on color, I'm sure, given all kinds of. I won't do the impression. I won't do it justice, but it would be pretty funny hearing him just add little Sammy-isms from time to time.
Yeah, I agree.
And who wouldn't want to see Sammy somewhere around ringside whacking the hell out of someone with a crutch or something? Well, maybe he's not that ambitious. We'll have to wait and see. All right, well, let's jump into tonight's episode. We're already an hour in here. And
and we'll talk about it during there was a piece of news. Somebody's going to be coming to Impact Wrestling as well.
Oh, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Well, I want to jump into the review. Otherwise, we're going to be here all night just talking about news and stuff. Like, oh, there was a show too. Oh, okay. All right, so real quickly, BTI stuff. George the Iceman with the Iceman Intel talking about will Decay accept the challenge. Like I said, they throw in a little spin on it, so it's not just, hey, here's a match, deal with it. So I can accept that they threw a little spin on it. It's like, okay, so that's why we're getting a match. So there was a challenge laid down, and we jump into the response later. Falaba versus Hernandez is at ringside with in company. We got Johnny Swinger and the Swingerellas. Anyone want to throw some thoughts in on this match? They actually gave this a decent amount of time. This was a lot of fun.
Didn't see it.
Well, you know me. I saw it live. I watched it again. I actually watched it twice. But it's got the swing man, and anything with the swing man, I enjoy. But I know everyone, big Ba fans as well. So Ba, good to see him. Good to see him get the victory here. But definitely, I enjoy everything with the pals, and we'll get more into this as the show goes on because it was a sad night. Sad. Tears were shed, as people were saying in the chat. Someone was cutting a lot of onions. But
a lot of onions in the office tonight.
Yeah, good to see Hernandez daddy. But the right guy won in this match.
Yeah. Now there was nothing in this match like if you win, you get an opportunity or anything like that. Was it? This was just a little coming uppins.
Yeah, I think this was just a BTI because they're doing those matches separate, like the digital media with which we keep getting people for that match. But I think this just goes. I think we see what was leading into this with the Palace segment later.
Oh yeah, with the shutdown of the Palace and.
Oh, don't tell me you can, J-Bone. Come on.
I'm sorry. I hate to put it that way, but followed by last week, putting that in there.
I love this place, though. I love this place.
Bill loves this place.
This place rules.
He's wearing a Sabin jacket just for such a moment. And we'll get into that later.
Swingerella number 2.
Swingerella number 2. And number 1 got quite an amount of time tonight. All right, so we start out here with the episode of Impact Wrestling from tonight. We got El Phantasmo versus Rohit Raju versus the Mack. Now, the winner of this one is going to be the third in the X Division number 1. This is for the vacant X Division championship.
Yeah, this is
right?
for the third spot in the 3-way.
Oh, excuse me. Third spot in the 3-way. We've already had the 2 matches. We already have Macklin with Trey Miguel winning the first 2. So this is to find number 3. El Phantasmo, some Bullet Club presence there.
Yeah. Although he's more of the under. You got to go with the under Bullet Club. And then you got to go and he does.
The whole the spazzing of the 2 streets or something. Yeah, he's all jittery.
Whoa! Hold on, Bison. You can't throw a comment like that in chat and not say what that was.
I don't know. Well, you were talking about something else. So they were talking about bits and bobs. So I thought I'd put it in there.
All right. Well, I guess we'll wait until we get to the segment.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Let's not get the onions going up too early.
I know. I gotta keep my composure here.
It's an emotional night. It's an emotional night. All right. So who wants to talk about this X Division 3-way? Don't everybody jump up.
Other than the fact it was bloody awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty
It
good.
was.
Go with
Hate to
that.
see my boy Rohit go down like that, though.
I hear you.
Yeah,
A lot of false
I,
finishes in this one.
Mhm.
there was, and I thought there was some great sort of combinations, moves, and stuff going on as well. Loads of flying around as you would expect from Phantasmo. I think it was great. I thought it was a great match, and I'm hyped to see this one at Bound for Glory.
There you go, Bill.
This one, when it was coming on live, like when I was there for it was like El Phantasmo. I think ever since he first showed up during the no fan shows, I was like, oh, he was there and he was gone. I'm like, why wasn't I able to see El Phantasmo live? Because he's such a heely heel. Like that he gives Penzer a hard time. He what's his Twitter profile say? Like I don't like you, fat marks. The guy's fantastic. Like he has no qualms on anything. He's not going to pretend to be cool. Like a lot of the Bullet Club, if you like the Bullet Club, like you're still cool with them. Like you'll be a cool fan to them, even if they're heels. He doesn't care. He hates everybody. Like he doesn't want you to be his. Like he doesn't want a fan. He wants to screw you over. So that's why he's as heel as it gets, and that's why I like him so much. And plus, he's good in the ring. Good Canadian boy. They're all these fine Canadians we have in Impact Wrestling. But Phantasmo, I wanted to win this with the Bullet Club hype for Bound for Glory. We knew Chris Bay is going to play a big part in his hometown. We'll see what he winds up doing, but I was hoping for El Phantasmo would be doing something big at Bound for Glory, and now he is. It's interesting. He wins this match, good match. It really makes it interesting for Bound for Glory because it feels like Trey is just so due to win the X Division title. But man, I would not mind an El Phantasmo run because I think he would everybody would be gunning for him. It would be a good storyline with him just healing it up for everybody. But I guess the risk with that is, does it become everything Bullet Club? Like, is it going to become a Bullet Club thing, which tends to happen when the Bullet Club starts winning titles.
Well, there's a lot of support for it, and you never know what's going to happen when the Biz Quiz comes to town. We just want to thank Punk Trey for the super sticker tip, much appreciated for the 99 cents. Just want to remind everyone that you can help support the show by super chat, super stickers, or if you're in Twitch, you can cheer bits and subs and all that lovely stuff.
Yeah, don't forget to smash that like button. As Bison would say, give it a tickle.
So, yeah, I
and then what's this these days?
Squeeze.
A squeeze.
Yeah. So now we give it a tickle, we give it a squeeze, or we give it a smash. Whichever suits.
I don't know what kind of bells you have over there in the UK that you're squeezing, but I digress. We'll continue. You keep your squeezing to yourself, damn it. All right. Great match. Yeah, great match. El Phantasmo, Trey Miguel, and Macklin will round out that three-way at Bound for Glory. Anyone want to put money on it? That's going to kick off the pay-per-view. I don't think that'd be a hard argument.
Well, we might have the answer, though. It might not be kicking off the pay-per-view.
Oh,
it might kick off the real pay-per-view, but I believe the digital media title might be on the pre-show. That might actually be the first match.
It's sort of like the buy-in show, isn't it?
Yeah. So technically that's the first match, but then on the proper card, it could be the X Division title, obviously.
Yeah. Hell, it's a lot of competition. I know a lot of people are pulling for Macklin or just assume that he's going to win. I wouldn't assume anything yet. We'll see what happens. All right, and we got Savannah Evans versus Lady Frost. Got Tasha Steelz at the red ring side there. Why I didn't mark this? Sorry. And I didn't mark who won this one. Damn, my note taking sucks tonight.
That was Savannah Evans won this match.
Savannah won, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And what happened afterwards was even more interesting. But let's talk about the match. Let's start with Alicia. Let's talk about Lady Frost versus Savannah Evans.
Oh man, I thought this was really good. Good matchup. These two worked really well together. Definitely a difference in where Savannah has the height and the strength and the power behind her. Lady Frost really seems to have that speed and agility aspect behind her, and so these two really clashed. I had a feeling Savannah was going to take it, but there was a couple instances that I thought Lady Frost was going to pull through. Tonight wasn't her night, but overall, I really enjoyed this match.
Well, yeah, and it certainly had some momentum coming in after winning that Monsters Ball.
Mm-hmm.
With
It's
an
important
amazing
for her to have
finish.
that.
It is. It's you know, she's coming in recently as the muscle for Tasha Steelz, and now she's even seen as more of a threat. Like it's like, oh, well, she came in as the muscle, but we haven't seen anything. Well, now we have. Now she's got a lot of this stuff to back it up.
I'll say something later, but I think Tasha is going to have eyes
On the back.
to her side.
Oh, so you think that Savannah might outshine Tasha Steelz?
No. But I think she might be trying to steal her spot.
Oh, okay. I see what you're
Hey,
saying.
listen, from Savannah's point, there's only one way to go for her, and that's up.
That's true.
And remember, Tasha does think that everyone's trying to take her spot.
Yes.
Deanna's taking her spot as the alpha. And then obviously Kiera, we know those issues. So Tasha doesn't tend to get along with these people for a long time.
Yeah, that is yeah. She had her problems with Kiera. You know, things did fall apart, and then Kiera got dragged away to some other time at some other place. Bison, any thoughts on the knockouts match?
I thought it was a great match. I think Savannah Evans is clearly a dominant force to be reckoned with. So that's great to see. It's a real shame though, because I'm a massive Lady Frost fan. I think she's so athletic. She looks fantastic. You know, her whole kind of persona. She's unique. And exactly, for me, is like exactly what a fully fledged Impact knockout should be, because the roster is so diverse. So it makes total sense to me that she would eventually end up on the roster. So I hope she does, and regardless of whether she wins or lose matches or whatever, what we've seen from her, certainly in her match against Deanna, which was amazing, and then obviously subsequent matches that we've seen from her after that. She is clearly a very, very talented performer, and I'd love to see her on the roster. She obviously wants it as well, because you've seen some of her stuff that she's been putting out on Twitter, where she's sort of kind of basically telling us to let Impact know that we want to see more of her. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, someone said in the chat that Lady Frost was trending on Twitter tonight. I mean, that's quite the feat for not even winning the match. That's amazing.
It's pretty awesome.
So the eyes, she comes in with a great ring move set, and a lot of charisma. Great look for her character. So it's not just some average knockout new face coming in like, oh, who's this and why should we care? No, I mean, as soon as she walks in, you're like, whoa, who is this with the cape and the look and the hair and the whole gimmick thing? And it's
Well, the one thing is for sure, okay, like they didn't squash her. That was not a squash match, right? So
that was great to see. Yes.
They gave her time. I mean, I don't know how long it was, but it was probably getting on close to sort of 7 or 8 minutes, I would imagine. But it was a good, solid match, and she gave everything that she could. It's a shame we didn't get to see the what I class as the the best moonsault ever. But it was, maybe we'll get some more matches out of her. Who knows?
And I got to give a kudos to good friend of the show, David Penzer. And I don't know if this helped the trend or not, but his announcing her entrance from Somewhere Cold was fantastic tonight. I don't know if it was just the audio of it, but it was like, from Somewhere Cold, Lady Frost. And it was just a perfect visual with the announcement. So kudos to the Pens.
I'm trying to remember, was she announced like that from damn it, I can't remember.
If she was, I didn't
Melissa
notice
Santos.
Santos, thank you.
Yeah.
I was going to say Mrs. Cage.
I think she was. Yeah, I think she was.
Probably was, but
I think she was. But it didn't.
With that announcement, which was
on a side note, can I just say, her fella, Lady Frost fella, Savage Gent, man, that I think he's a surprise entry into the Gauntlet match. But there you go.
The Butterfinger champion.
The Butterfinger champion. Yep.
Don't lay a finger on his Butterfinger, J-Bone.
Because if you follow both of them on Twitter, they are very, very high and positive about Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
And which always is a good sign. So, fingers crossed on that one. Fingers crossed. I'd love to see that. The dude is ripped. He looks like a superstar.
Damn it. Now I want a Butterfinger. I'm seriously.
They don't sell those over here, but I have tried them. They are delicious.
Well, you can have your Monster Munch instead.
That's
don't
true.
Get that.
Yeah. And we get Cadbury's chocolate, which is way better. But
we only get the eggs at times.
The diet is just gone, guys. The diet is just gone. I've got to take healthy walks after this. I'm probably going to end up walking to the gas station for a snack.
Well, if you're anything like me, you put on the pain just talking about it.
This is God. Give me the bite here. Here we go.
Yeah, this is horrible.
There we go. It says it all. It says it all. All right, we continue. Savannah Evans with the win, and now what happens next is even more interesting because we got Knockouts champ Deonna Purrazzo coming down to the ring.
Don't forget the Reina de Reinas.
Yes, she's got both belts, showing off both belts here. It's good stuff there. And she's like, she's with. I'm trying to think who she was with. Sorry, Matthew.
Raywald.
Matthew Raywald. Yes.
The Drama King is offended somewhere.
Yeah, he probably is. She's probably singing a different tune right now. Sorry.
Now, where you're talking about gaining weight and all this stuff. I think he lost a pound as we just talked about this.
Yeah, right. Heaven forbid. So Savannah Evans and Tasha Steelz are rightly surprised by this. Like, to what do we expect this? This honor. And Deonna tells him immediately, she's like, I come in peace. No harm meant. And she's talking about what's going down at Bound for Glory. Of course, she's going to be facing Mickie James. But now we've got a Pick Your Poison match, which I didn't know we were getting one of those for her as well. I thought it was just the one way. So I misunderstood that. And of course, we couldn't have both at the Knockouts Knockdown. I'm guessing because of time restraints or whatever. But so next week, and now this is certainly not in the favor of Mickie James, but Mickie James is going to have to face Savannah Evans for the Pick Your Poison match. And this is literally days. Wait, is this days or is this
days?
Yeah, literally days before Bound for Glory.
2 days before Bound for Glory.
Not good for Mickie James. That is certainly not going to help her. Mickie James is good, but if you're going to face a monster like Savannah,
she's hardcore country, J-Bone.
Well, hardcore country, but we know what's. We also know what's in Savannah Evans' corner. She's not going to come alone for this one.
She's not going to come alone at all.
The numbers are already against her in this one. So
Well,
let's
let's
Whose
just-
uncle is this? If the aliens don't come back and get their uncle for real,
Well, let's just hope. Let's just hope that Mickey doesn't bring Nick with her.
Oh. Although, Bison,
Oh
if
boy.
she were to, that could confirm the UK tour.
Well, maybe, but hey, I'd rather watch my grass grow.
Oh damn.
Hey, don't insult your grass.
Oh, jeez. Oh man, the Bison's grass is going to start looking like Arizona pretty soon. All right. So next week we're getting the Pick Your Poison match: Savannah Evans versus Mickey James. Can't wait to see that. Macklin with a promo here talking about he is in for all the mayhem coming up at Bound for Glory. So good to see.
And
that,
just a
man.
kudos on this. I thought this was a fantastic promo from Macklin.
Yeah, so do I.
He needs to start doing these promos more in front of the fans because that will get him a reaction. Because he's doing great job on these filmed promos, but he hasn't talked a ton in the ring. And it's usually just like a quick, I think he's talked maybe once or twice and real brief.
Yeah.
But this was a great promo.
Do you know what? It was a well-performed promo. It was well delivered.
Yeah.
But it was slightly contradictory. Did you not think? Because he was at the very beginning. I mean, I'm a massive Macklin fan. I think he's great. But at the very beginning, he was talking about the ribbon chasers.
Mhm.
Obviously, when you ribbon chasers is a term that is used when you're in the military, isn't it? That people are like always trying to win a medal, for the glory.
Okay.
And those are the guys that sort of basically get the real soldiers killed, basically. So, and then he went on to talk about how he wants to win the strap. So I kind of thought, hang on a minute. So is that not you now chasing the ribbon? Like, I don't know.
You're right. There might have been a little disconnect there.
Yeah.
But I thought he leaned into it. Like I almost ignored the beginning of the promo, but then like when he got into it, that's when it was like I was loving the character and his delivery was really good.
I love the tag and bag and mayhem thing. I love that.
Yes, that was great. Like that's a t-shirt.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that certainly could be one because he just got a new one, didn't he, Macklin? I think he's got a new shirt out there.
Yeah, and I think Bonus Baby's right. I think the only thing he said was, "I'm going to kick your ass in the ring."
Yeah.
And there was the one time he got massive heat.
Yeah, and it's
Because he's just been beating people up, like he's been cheap shotting everybody.
Yeah.
So that's what you're going to get, massive heat. But hey, that's how EC3 started, massive heat.
Yeah,
Until he started talking, and then it was like, wow, this guy's good. And that's why, because a lot of people are comparing his promos to EC3's narrative stuff. And they're not wrong. They are very similar.
They are similar. They come off different.
The way they're presented, I think is where they're similar.
It's the presentation that's similar. Context is different.
Oh,
No, I think with these, I'm becoming more of a Macklin fan with these type of segments.
Yeah, and I think it's done well because as far as stuff in the ring, that's Macklin. That's where he just gets all of his stuff done is in the ring. He lets his in ring work do all of his talking as far as when he's out there. So yeah, good stuff. It just nice little way to help set up Bound for Glory coming up soon. And we got, I can't wait to hear Alicia's opinion on this. We got Gia Miller with Gail Kim out there and talking about Bound for Glory coming up, and Decay comes out and they get a delivery FedExed from down under. And we were kind of, this was a little awkward, but it was fun nonetheless.
I thought it was a cute segment.
Yeah, as far as this is the challenge coming in, the official challenge coming in from the Inspiration. What'd you think of this?
I'm excited about it. I think these two teams have the potential to put on a really good storyline arc, and really good matches. And I think it's going to be really fun to see the inspiration. I wanted to say Iconics, the inspiration and Impact, because I really feel like their style of humor is the perfect kind of camp for Impact.
Yeah, if that's what they're bringing, I hope it's a little something different. It could be something very similar because that's what they were good at. We'll have to wait and see, because obviously, you know, what they brought is from all it's someone else's way of thinking. But we'll see. We'll see what they bring. But yeah, like obviously they gotta instead of just putting the match out there, they gotta put something in the show to put around it to have it make some kind of sense. So there you go. You got the FedEx challenge from Down Under. That had to cost a pretty penny.
And bonus baby, after Gia reads it, because Gail gives it to her, after she reads about this and that they'll be lucky to share a ring with, then at the pay-per-view, it's like, no, you have to read it in an Australian accent. So start over, which she does not do. But
yeah.
So if anyone, me and J-Bone butchered the Australian accents, people were calling for Kyle, the scumbag, and Trent because they wanted a better Australian accent. You know it's bad when they're calling for them for the accents. So,
what's interesting though is from having Gia Miller on the show, if you remember, she talked about her that she's actually quite good at doing accents. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
So who knows? She might actually be able to do a pretty good Australian accent.
She probably could have. She
could. I mean, on the live reaction, I was just throwing a crikey! Oh crikey! Here we go. We're gonna send a challenge FedEx out you now. And mine's not very good.
I think that was Bushman kind of just adding in the word.
Me and J-Bo refer to Crocodile Dundee too much.
Okay.
That's our go-to.
Crikey, mate. Crikey.
Now that's a knife.
That's a knife.
You gotta go back to the I've forgotten his name now, the Irwin guy.
Steve Irwin, the crocodile.
Steve Irwin.
There
He's like,
go.
crikey, mate, look at the size of it.
When I get in the ring, I'm gonna poke you with a stick. All right, we continue. Before we start losing viewers for the saying, oh, it's
well, there is Kyle from Australia, but I don't think he's in the chat right now. But Kyle from Australia,
is he from Australia?
I think that's his name, Kyle from Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I think we've got a couple. We've got a couple of Australian guys that tune into the show.
Well,
but I always get interested, like when, Bison will tell us about the different accents in the UK. I'm always interested in the different accents.
Oh, we got loads. There's loads of regional accents here, like crazy.
And I guess the same thing in Australia. Like us Americans were introduced to Crocodile Dundee and and Steve Irwin. Like that's all we know. But I'm sure there's probably tons of them over there.
And don't worry, Bison. I'm not going to try any UK accents. I'm not awake enough for that. All right, we continue.
I want a J-Bo Cockney, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a hot mess. VSK versus Swann. And this is Swann leading into now. What is Swann going for at Bound for Glory? Remind me.
He's in the Gauntlet.
He's in the Gauntlet match, yeah.
The call your shot Gauntlet. Okay, all right. Good to see him against an upcoming talent. VSK backed by Myers. Now the Swann. Jiminy Christmas! I need another energy drink. Swann. My brain's gonna have another stroke. Swann backed by the Mack. I always like calling him the Mack because that's what they call him in Lucha Underground. They always say the return of the Mack. So you're backed by the Mack. Now, Brian Myers shoos away the rest of his learning tree, including Sam Beal.
It's an outrage.
Oh, man. I mean, that's going to cause a stir in the tree. Wait, no, that's not a saying. Never mind. Wait. Did you think you said something like, "Hey, why don't you make like a tree and leave"?
Back to the Future.
Something like that. Something that's a.
All right, Biff.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't say it right, Jay, but that's the joke. It's not make like a tree and leave. It's make like a tree and get out of here.
Oh yeah, that's it. Well, Sam Beal would probably say it like that. I can't imagine the most professional wrestler, Brian Myers, saying something like that. But anyways, I digress. Any thoughts on VSK versus Swann? I had to step out. I didn't see most of this. So someone fill in the blanks here, please.
It was Swann doing his thing. VSK, for some reason, this is obviously Bride's favorite because he trained them. But come on, Sam Beal's put in the work on Impact. So that's got to be your guy.
Just the hair alone.
Come on. Perfection. That's all I'm doing. Come on, perfection. Love perfection. Sam Beal's a diamond in the rough. And Ziggy Dice. Love Ziggy Dice. And Manny Lemons. I'm a Manny Lemons guy. I got the zest for life. VSK, as of now, he's not doing much for me. We'll see what happens. But John Schuyler, folk hero of the TNI Discord, he's doing much more for me than VSK right now. We'll see what happens. Right now, it just looks like Brian Myers' favorite brown noser. That's all it looks like to me.
Yeah. The way that Schuyler is talked about in the Discord, folks. Hey, he's a living legend. You would have think that he was a 17-time world champ or something. Jiminy Christmas.
It's about time.
Maybe in another universe. But yeah,
he's good though. He is good. He's a good wrestler. So if people haven't seen the Control the Narrative 2, is it, or 3, the Monster Within thing, he's actually really good in that. He has a really good match in that. Really good. So if you haven't seen that yet, make sure you go and check that out because it is good.
There you go. And they just put the first one for free on YouTube on the Control Your Narrative. That's a great piece of paper there, pal. Thank you. It cost a pretty penny. All right, so yeah, it was a match. What does that say? Myers and Beal tag team champs. All right.
Someday.
Was totally. And we got the end of what looks to be in this next segment, Swingers Palace. Now, everybody get your tissues out for this. This is going to be an emotional thing to talk about. I want to start with Alicia. This is a tough one. And it's sad that we don't have Trent here to play the old what do they call that?
Oh, the harmonica?
Harmonica. Thank you. Yeah, for this tender moment. But go ahead, Alicia.
I actually kind of got a little emotional with this one. Hearts were broken all around.
This is true. There was a few of them, yeah.
As Swingers Palace moves on to Vegas. Or not? I'm not really sure what's going on.
Well,
I just know I cried.
Right. It's like, well, everybody's moving on to Vegas.
Except Swinger.
Except for the Swingers Palace. Right.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the Palace is important.
Okay. So, yeah. Is this the end of like Bravo and Swinger and stuff, or are we gonna see them under a different entity? I think it was Showgirls out in Vegas.
You know,
I don't know whether to say congratulations or I'm sorry.
Well, this for me, this segment was not only I don't think a good. This was a very sad goodbye to Swingers Palace, but I have a funny feeling that this is a goodbye to Johnny Swinger also, because if you think about it, it's been a good 2 years since he joined Impact Wrestling, and he came in on a 2-year deal. So
if that's what he did, yeah.
Yeah, so no, it was announced he came in on a 2-year deal. It was definitely a 2-year deal. So and he came in at a Vegas tapings, I believe, as well. So or the introduction to him was starting at that point when they started showing the, where he was sort of kind of out and about doing all this and stuff. I'm pretty sure it started in Vegas. So, but I mean, it's kind of like. It is sad. It is sad because, like, Swinger has been a massive part of the, like you say, the comedic side of Impact Wrestling for the past 2 years, and yeah, it's sad. I love the way they did it. I like the whole Swingerella #1 or whatever she was, like declaring her love for him and all that, and he was sort of kind of like, got rid of that one, and then we had Swingerella #2 who clarified her name is actually Riley, declaring her love for Sabin. I have to say I hope it's not the last we see of her, because I think she looks fantastic, so it'd be interesting to see if we see her turn up at again as an actual wrestler. Because I believe, as you just said, she is a wrestler, so it would be good to see that. But I was sad. Yeah, I was sad. Definitely.
Yeah, and then Sabin turning down *2. So
his first love is wrestling ring.
Yeah, so #2 is not getting a ride out to Vegas either.
No.
Bill, what'd you think?
Well, I was already very sad by all this. And then Bison's telling me Swinger's gone. As I'm here with my Palace shirt.
I might be wrong. It's just
the idea of Johnny Swinger not being in Impact Wrestling. I don't know what I would do with it, but this was fantastic. Starting at the beginning with the painting of Swingman on the horse, our favorite painting of all time. It's the Mona Lisa of wrestling, Swinger on the horse. It should be in a museum or above his bed, as he said. So I think that's right from the beginning. This Swinger's Palace will go down. Wrestle House was great. The wedding stuff was good. This is the best comedy series of the Anthem era. Maybe in TNA Impact Wrestling history.
Oh, that's pretty big.
Fantastic. They did the whole highlight reel as part of this too, especially all the Sabin, because I said from the start, Sabin's been killing it wrestling, but what he showed personality wise at Swinger's Palace was a whole new dimension for a guy that's been around forever, and it made him a whole new guy.
It was so much fun, yeah.
He's got a whole new edge to him, and I love that about him. But I think it's only appropriate that we go heavy on some Swingman sound bites right now if this is the end.
You guys swing? I want my pizzles back.
There we go. Oh, man.
Is that the guy from TNN?
There we go.
Try to get that, YouTube.
Yeah. They can't handle all the swing. So, Alicia, any last thoughts on the swing man here?
I'm going to miss it if this is the end.
Yeah.
It's been swell, but the swelling's gone down.
Oh, there's an ointment for that.
Yeah,
a bomb? There's a bomb. I didn't tell you to take the bomb, J-Bone.
God. And so at the end of the little parade of videos at the end there, the slow black and white pan out from Sabin, and Sabin turn off the lights as you exit Swinger's Palace. So, Hernandez finally got paid his money back.
He got the wad.
So, good for Hernandez. So, poor Swinger leaves broke. And, well, not heartbroken. He breaks some hearts on his way out, too. So, we'll see.
Bravo looked very sad. And no one likes a sad Bravo.
Yeah, he's like, by the way, my name's John.
John Dino. What kind of name is that?
What's going on with that? Oh, crazy.
It's gold. I just can't imagine. Now it'll be something different, but they got to do a Vegas like the Swingman and Bravo in Vegas.
We get like
They're trying to open up a new casino at Samstown, like in the basement.
Like a Mission
I'll
Impossible.
offer to be there. Like I'll be next to Sabin because I love this place, even though I've never been there. Just as much.
There you go. You got to wear the jacket.
I'll do anything. Uh-oh. Emergency alert. Watch TNI.
It says oh jeez.
You have a weather emergency?
Okay, we're not gonna let that play out because that's just gonna freak people out. It said extreme. It said be on the lookout for someone. Sorry, I'm kind of busy right now, so not doing my community service while I'm doing a show.
Yeah. Well, we'll say it's scumbag warning.
Yeah, there we go. Yes, the scumbag in the neighborhood. Dear God. All right, so now we got Heath. Heath is back in the impact zone. He's in the office of Scott D'Amore, and he's about to sign on the dotted line. Pretty exciting news there, but he's got one thing he wants from Scott. One thing. Now it's not as bad as it was when he first came in there, wanting a whole book full of needs on his contract. He wants one thing from Scott coming back. He's been waiting a long time for this. He wants a match at Bound for Glory versus VBD. Here's the tough part he may have a little trouble with. He wants Rhino in his corner. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, we got the attack of Joe Doring in the podcast again.
It's coming right for us.
Be gentle. Well, how do you feel about this, Joe? Let us know.
Heath, I'm coming for you, Heath. I'll treat you like a Heath bar. I eat them. And I'm gonna eat you too. Then I'm gonna look at you.
All right. Thanks, Joe. You're just scaring the crap out of us. Be gentle.
Did he give him his match, J-Bone? Is he facing me?
You know what? Let's check the Impact Wrestling news for any updates here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Straight from Impact.
I'm waiting with
Wrestling.
anticipation.
Here, wait no longer, Big Joe. All right, so we're gonna do a little share screen-a-rooney here. Yeah, we're not gonna get pulled down for this because this is just an article. Here we go. It says right here, it says Bound for Glory. Heath goes to war with Violent by Design. Field set for Oh, that's just confirmation on the X Division match. All right, so yeah, it's here we go. VBD versus Heath and question mark. So it says
I eat question marks for breakfast. With a side of bologna.
What? That's a lot of baloney. Says, will the real Rhino please stand up? That is what Heath is hopeful for at Impact Wrestling's biggest event of the year when he battles Violent by Design in tag team action. All right.
Do you not think there's also something very interesting in this photograph?
What's that?
Well, that Eric Young is right at the front.
Well, he's leading the crew.
He may be, but but generally, if they were going to put someone in, if it's if they're putting it as it's going to be VBD against whoever, they would normally have one of the other guys in that front because it wouldn't necessarily be him in the ring because of his injury.
Well, and it's also interesting because the silhouette behind Heath looks to be a bald individual.
Ooh.
You know,
Ooh.
unless Rhino has his hair slicked back.
So it could be Stone Cold Steve Austin. Is that what you're saying?
It's
I think that. I think that's the. I think it's just a generic sort of kind of person that they put there all the time, isn't it? Maybe.
Oh, you talking about the vacant search? Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, there's all these open doors now. You know, maybe vacant jumped ship. With knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I don't think Stone Cold's a free agent. I think he's under some kind of contract with the.
Well, maybe we get the return of this guy.
What's going on between you and my daughter?
Jack.
Well, no, which one are you talking about? The one he's pointing at, or the one talking?
Tomato.
I don't think fans want to see either of them in the Impact. But anyways, oh, get ready, folks. Who knows what's going to happen? Could be a bald rhino. Anybody ever seen a bald rhino at a zoo? I don't know. Anyways. So yeah, we'll see what happens. All right. So next we got Sabin with Finn Juice in their corner, with against Chris Bay and the rest of the Bullet Club. Now everyone gets tossed out here, if I remember correctly, and it ends up being just Sabin versus Bay, which is great. And there's no shenanigans, as much as you like some shenanigans, depending on who's out there, because you expect it. So it's kind of fun. We got a great match here between Chris Bay and Chris Sabin. Sabin wins. Now I gotta say, I was actually a little surprised here, but I should be surprised because Sabin's been on a roll. He really has. Bill, let's start with you first. Your thoughts on this?
No, I'm with you. The Sabin, all I can keep doing is singing his praises like this whole year in his matches, and yet every time he gets in these matches with Moose, Chris Bay, the list goes on, and you think he's, for some reason you doubt Chris Sabin. It's like, nah, Chris ain't gonna win this match. He's just gonna have a great match, but he's gonna come out on the wrong end of it. It's like, because where's it gonna go with him? It's like, because these other guys feel like they're in this story, like the Bullet Club, Moose with Kenny Omega. There's no way he wins these matches, but yet he wins these matches. So I think there's a lot more with Chris Sabin under the surface, from Swingers Palace, the stuff. And now we know, like, Shelley doesn't look like he's coming back anytime in the near future. So it's a Chris Sabin run. It's a former world champion Chris Sabin on a solo run right now. So we see what happens here. Obviously, a great match. He comes out on top. And when we talk about the battle royale with cheese later, this is, I think, the only guy that winds up being in both matches. He's got to be in a battle royal after being in this match. So there's a long-term story being told with Chris Sabin, that, like, a perseverance. This is the guy that came back from two career-threatening injuries.
Yeah.
One on each of his ankle, like the ACL, MCLs. I believe they were ACLs. So he is super Sabin. Somehow he looks better today than he did 10 years ago. It's crazy. He's a medical marvel, this guy. And like I said, this stuff with Swingers Palace, I want to see even more of that. I want to see him cutting in-ring promos like he does at Swingers Palace. I want him just, like, on edge, just going nuts out of nowhere, just reacting to things like, yeah, and just going crazy. That's what I want out of Chris Sabin.
Well, he was even oppressive against a guy like Moose, you know, which took us all by surprise. We didn't see that one coming at all. But then, honestly, you know, we found out earlier, was it earlier today or yesterday or whatever that was, talking about the Mount Rushmores. When Moose said who was on his Mount Rushmore, it's really no surprise why they faced each other. So that was for Moose. And in learning that, it's much more understandable why that took place. I mean, we all thought that Moose was on this roll to the top, but now he's having just all these killer matches. So okay, but now we kind of understand why. You know, there's a lot of respect in there too. So yeah, fun match. Alicia, any thoughts on this?
Not really, just a little predictable.
Oh, that's Sabin going.
I
knew
really
Chris was going to win.
this.
I knew Chris was going to win. I knew Chris was going to win this match. No doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and what found out later is even more interesting. And we'll get to that in a second. We'll keep it going here. I know we're going on 2 hours. We're trying to wrap this up soon. So then we got Jim Miller interview segment with Trey Miguel. And a lovely surprise here. Who jumps in the conversation here but Alex Zane?
Sauce.
Taco Bell man.
Taco Bell man. Damn it, now I want Taco Bell. Butterfingers and Taco Bell. I swear to God, I'm not pregnant, guys.
Me neither.
So, hey,
We had to clarify because we're saying we want Taco Bell. No, I'm not.
Taco Bell with pickles. No. So yeah, we're getting a lovely little surprise match next week, and my guess is it's all momentum for Trey leading into Bound for Glory. But we're getting Alex Zane versus Trey Miguel. Shut up and take my money. What do you think about this, Bison?
I think it's going to be an amazing match. I'm a massive fan of Alex. I think he's incredible, and of course, you know, Trey Miguel is awesome too. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Can I just say a quick one with regards to the Chris versus Chris match? I thought that was the best match of the night. Loved it. So,
great match.
Yeah, it was a fantastic match. But yeah, Trey Miguel versus Alex Zane, I think is going to be an absolute barn burner. Looking forward to this. I just had a fantastic message from Brandon Douglas, Bill. I think you know Brandon.
Yes.
Yeah, he's like, when are you going to get me on the show, boys? So I've just sent him a thumbs up. We'll see on that one. But yeah, no. So it's I think it's going to be a great match. You know, two incredibly high flying, exciting, fast paced guys. It's going to be great.
Yeah, and hopefully we see more of Alex. He is one free agent I absolutely want to see sign a contract here in Impact Wrestling.
He was wearing an Impact Wrestling shirt.
I took note of that too, Bison. That was I'm like, you're wearing the logo shirt.
Oh, yeah. No. Straight away, I'm like, oh, he's wearing a shirt.
And that could have been, you know, Scott tossing him a shirt saying, "Here, put this on. Look great on camera." But
maybe
it could be a sign.
Yeah, I have to look back. Did he wear a Ring of Honor shirt? Is he wearing a shirt at these other places he's been showing up? If not.
Well, that's the thing is when he showed up at Ring of Honor, he was offered a world championship shot like immediately. So I was like, oh, well, he's signed there, but now he showed up at Impact Wrestling. So who knows what he's all doing? Well, hey, good for him, right?
Doing the jump across like everybody else is.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing for
hey,
fans
you know
of
what?
wrestling.
These people got to make their coin, right? So support it.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, great match. Looking forward to next week. Good Brothers are still on vacation, and I was a little, well, for lack of better words, I'll just say disappointed because they're like, you know, they're trying to book themselves into a match to defend the tag team titles, but they still haven't gotten a response. Obviously, we got to get something by next week. But if we don't get anything next week, then obviously they're just going to show up at the pay-per-view. They'll walk down to the ring in their gear, and they'll be like, hey, open challenge time, and we'll get a lovely little surprise from someone. You know, I'm sure. Who knows what we'll get. But they said that they wanted an answer by the end of the show. Well, we didn't get one, did we? Not that I know of, unless I missed something.
No,
No, I don't think we
nothing
did.
specifically answering it.
No, I don't think so. So who knows? I mean, anyone want to throw out any names of who we'd like to see? I know we've asked this before, but now we're practically a week away.
Everybody.
The world versus the Too Sweet.
All the promotions are gonna show up, don't you know?
Could the young bucks turn up?
Oh,
I mean, I know that on the press pass, which unfortunately we couldn't make because we were doing Impacted, that it was mentioned on there. You know, could we see that happen? And they were like, absolutely. So who knows? Maybe it is.
Jen Me might be available.
Yeah,
the former Jen Me.
Moose still has Retribution.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose the obvious answer is going to be Gorillas of Destiny, I suppose. I guess that's going to be the... and that has been hinted to, but it's whether that would happen in Impact or would that happen in New Japan.
Yeah, they could load up and maybe they're not in the match. Maybe it's more they come like after a match or something like that and issue a challenge and then happen at New Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, happen at a Strong show because now New Japan Strong is starting to tour the U.S.
Maybe I'll see some of this play out this weekend.
Oh, there you go, little Philly action there, Bill.
Yeah,
you're gonna be front row for that.
I will be front row for that.
Oh, that's too sweet. Now, is that a taping or is that something that's going to be on Fight TV?
Taping. That's taping.
Okay. All right. Good to know. So yeah, watch out. They might have something like that coming to New Japan Strong, and that show, as I hear, is absolutely loaded.
Yeah,
they did. You're right. Sorry, Keith just mentioned. Who's mentioned it? Bonus Baby, whoever it is. Did they advertise Finn Juice versus Bullet Club for a number 1 contenders match next week?
I think they did.
So there you go. That would be what they've put together then.
Well, they said it, but they didn't announce it. So, but who knows? Who knows what they're going to do?
Yeah, they kind of inferenced it. They showed a graphic, and then I think the announced team said it. I think Josh May said it, but I don't know if they've officially put it out there yet. But I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's anything on the news page. Oh, we still got that coming up too to talk about. All right. So then we get the Battle Royal. I'm not going to talk about this too long. I'm not going to mention all the names. But so let's talk about the final two because, I mean, geez, Louise, Chris Sabin, what a loaded night between shutting out the lights at I almost said Caesar's Palace. Jiminy Christmas. Swingers Palace.
Come on, J-Bone. Come on.
Respect
the Palace.
I know. Hold it together. Hold it together. Chris Sabin versus Chris Bay. And now he's in the final two of the Battle Royal, tearing it up with the monster Morrissey. Did not see this coming. Like he didn't start realizing who was coming in at the end until you see a lot of people getting cleared out. I think the funniest exit in my professional podcasting opinion, it would be the swing man exiting over the top rope by himself because he was scared of the undead brides.
That's right. They lasted quite a while, actually.
They did.
They brought it to a few people, which was nice to see. I like the tactics that Fulton and Ace were doing. The whole sort of Ace sort of kind of cowering in the corner and Fulton standing in front of him, which was pretty much they pretty much said that was what their tactics were going to be in their promo earlier. So I liked all of that. But of course, it didn't matter, did it? It didn't work out that way. But I'll tell you what, I thought Fulton had a really good showing in this. I mean, there was one point where he was, ring post to ring post with Moose in one corner and Morrissey in the other corner, and it was splashes all round and big boots and all sorts. I thought he gave a real good account of himself and looked strong. So for me, although obviously came down to Sabin getting all the way through to the end, which is fantastic, and he's the GOAT. For me, the standout was actually Madman Fulton in this match. But there you go. That's my take.
Right, and so to wrap up this bit here, we see, and I'll do a little share screen of Rooney on this too, to show that they actually got the visuals in here. This is nice. So we've got at the end of this article for the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, we got the final two. We got Morrissey's W. Morrissey, excuse me. He's
20.
He's entering at 20. Sorry,
the final.
And the last one. And Chris Sabin is entering at number 1. He's got quite the battle ahead of him.
It feels like it's set up for a Chris Sabin run.
Yeah,
it certainly could.
Can't stop Sabes.
Yeah, it certainly could. Now, I thought this was. Now, I must be thinking of another match. Wasn't there just like 2 names left? Two sweets everywhere. I must be thinking of another match because I thought they were just bringing in like 2 more. Oh, I'm thinking of the DMC title match.
DMC title, yes. Still a couple openings there.
We're still waiting on 2 more names for that. They announced those matches, and pardon me for not writing down because they announced a whole lot of stuff. So, all right. And then we get this announcement. This is just crazy. Just crazy. The Forbidden Door is opening again. Now, I don't know if this is
close.
Well, it's been opening and it shuts every time somebody walks through, but then somebody kicks it open again.
No. Someone put one of those stoppers in the door and it doesn't close the full way. It's open.
It's like one of those old-timey saloon doors in the Old West.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know who goes into those old-timey saloons, Shaban?
James Storm?
Hangman Adam Page?
No. An old prospector. That's who goes in those. Get yourself a drink after getting some gold.
After a long day of shifting down at the river, he bellies up to the bar and he says, "Tarbender, get me a cold one." Anyways.
So what was that?
It's about time I do that as well. All right. The Forbidden Door is getting kicked open by, what do they call him? Grandpa Hardcore himself or something? I don't
Murder
know.
Grandpa.
Murder Grandpa. That's it. All right. I was close. That's a little more hardcore than that. Minoru Suzuki.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's cool.
Coming soon.
Oh.
No, I don't know. I don't know if he's showing up at Bound for Glory or if he's going to walk in for the tapings. It's a little hard to tell. And if he does show up at Bound for Glory, I don't know who he's going to come after, if he's going to do a run-in or something. So maybe this will be like a Suzuki Gun thing, and he'll come in with like Lance Archer, and I don't know, maybe who was the tag team partner of Lance Archer again?
Isn't it?
Kid Cash?
No, back in the day.
Dallas.
Sorry.
Dallas what? Davey Boy Smith Jr. Oh no, he went up north. Never mind. I was gonna say,
yeah,
we're gonna get the elite squad.
He went up north and then never been seen again.
Yeah, and I don't know what's up with him. I've been watching for updates. I saw something the other day. Apparently, I have no clue what's going on.
Oh god, that's a waste. That's a waste. Silly boy.
Well, and I would just assume he'd go to NXT UK, but anyways, that's a conversation for another time. I don't want to get off on that tangent. Well, who knows what's going to happen with Suzuki? But nonetheless, I mean, he's been showing up anywhere and everywhere. GCW, Indies, AEW, taking out Mox, all over the place. So yeah, great to see him land in Impact Wrestling. I can't wait to see who he faces. There's a few hardcore folks I could see him facing.
Yeah,
we'll see. And then
He's stiff. Like Eddie Edwards makes a lot of sense.
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah. That's honestly the first name that came to mind. Yeah, but yeah. Put it in the chat.
Well, now Alicia Edwards is hardcore. Maybe Alicia. That would be a cool match.
She is hardcore.
Kendra.
She's hardcore.
Well, yeah, she better bring the barbed wire Kendra if she is.
That was awesome. Yeah.
And I wouldn't wish that on her after what Morrissey put her through. Jiminy Christmas. But anyways, I digress. We'll see. Last but certainly not least, here we got the summit between Josh, led by Josh Matthews, with Josh Alexander, and the meeting with Christian Cage. Josh Alexander saying he has absolutely no regrets about giving up his X Division championship for this Option C title opportunity. And Christian Cage says that Josh Alexander is going to have trouble keeping his emotions in check as Josh Alexander leaves the summit towards the end, leaving everybody in the ring. Your thoughts on this, Alicia?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it. Okay.
But I hope Josh Alexander wins.
She was so excited about the guest, she left the show.
Yeah, basically. I had to prep.
All right. And I know it's late. Let's get your thoughts on this, Bison, before we end this.
I thought this is quite a cool segment, actually. To end the show on, I thought it was a little bit different. We hadn't seen nothing like this before, I don't think. So I thought it was quite good. I like the way this sort of kind of like build to Josh basically throwing his toys out in the pram and walking out, losing. Of course, is keeping himself in check kind of thing. Proving Christian right. So I thought that was quite cool. And can I just say, like, I don't know if we've not mentioned it yet, but it wasn't Stryker again. It was Josh on commentary again tonight. So I don't know what's going on with Stryker. But this type of thing, I think Josh does really well. So I quite like this. And I quite like the fact that it was Josh doing it. I think he does this stuff really well. So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, this and the little heel stuff on BTI, taking little jabs at Gia and stuff like that. That's always fun. Yeah. But he keeps it friendly. He's just more of a smart ass, But yeah, Josh and Christian here. And it was great that we just didn't get a typical two guys sitting at a table gets flipped, someone gets put through a table, because these guys aren't like that. We're looking at two, I guess for lack of better words, two baby faces, two fan favorites. And so it is something a little different. You're not getting the typical, okay, well, the heel's going to do something to piss off the babyface retaliates, so I'll just call this refreshing. Any thoughts on this, Bill?
No, I this was a throwback to old TNA, old Mike Tenay sit-down interviews he did in the ring.
Oh, there you go. Great comparison.
And for, like, obviously everybody knows I'm a big Josh fan. And I think Matthews, the GOAT. He is the GOAT. And he did something a little different. This is something he didn't usually do. He did a little bit on Explosion, something similar. Before Penzer was doing his kind of interview segments. He did some stuff. But I thought this was well done. He does a good job as like an MC. going back and forth, very much like the professor used to do, asking the questions, getting the answers. Obviously, you see the build there. Starts cordial, gets into, as people said in the chat, as Sting says here, Christian hit the who. Like it goes from, oh yeah, I respect you, I like what you're doing. That's where our similarities end. And then obviously when push comes to shove with AEW fans, it's like, who should I face? Josh Alexander? Who? The ultimate disrespect.
Yeah.
So
that put Josh Alexander over the edge when he saw that. Yeah.
And you know what? That might be part of Christian kind of. Someone's gonna, even though it's a face versus face, someone has to become the heel during the match, and it sounds like Christian's gonna do that, which is a tall task. So he's gonna have to be very vocal about his heelish antics, because a lot of that crowd's gonna want to cheer for Christian Cage, because he's obviously more identifiable over the years to probably more the people that will be there live. So he's going to have to do there's going to be a moment or two in the match where maybe he comes close to breaking the rules in a very obvious way to get the fans on Josh's side even more.
Yeah. Well, and he was a heel for a much bigger portion of his career, I think, being tag team partners with Edge and doing stuff. So honestly, I don't think it's going to be that hard for him.
But has Edge been booed in 10 years?
He was a couple WrestleManias ago when he had that stinker of a match in his comeback with Orton.
Whoa.
Well,
I don't think anyone said anything bad about Edge these days.
Oh, yeah. If you go back and look at my review, that was probably
J-Bo did.
I mean, there was no fans present, and I give them all credit for putting on a show at the beginning of the pandemic. Was
that the one that was advertised as the greatest match ever or something going in before it happened?
They had 45 minutes of, could you please just end this shit? Yeah. But enough said. Yeah, I was not kind about that match. That was rough. Well, it was rough just sitting through 2 days, 8 hours each, Jiminy Christmas, whatever it was. But anyways, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be interesting seeing what Christian does, or what both guys do. We'll see. I mean, we could get something completely the opposite of that, and Scott D'Amore run down with a brand new, out of nowhere, Team Canada to help Josh win. Who knows?
It'd be great for Team Canada to get involved somehow in the finish. I'll pop for that.
There's a Team Canada t-shirt that's been sitting lonely in the shop, just waiting for someone to claim it.
I have it.
Well, I'm saying there's a Team Canada there, but there's no Team Canada on Impact. Just saying.
J-Bone, stop this news segment, J-Bone.
Oh,
I want everyone to be surprised about for Glory, J-Bone. Oh, Canada.
My apologies, Scott. My apologies. Joe, can we get Scott out of here?
Bye-bye.
He's running from Joe in the green room now. All right. So yeah, that's tonight's episode. A really good episode. A little bit of everything leading up to Bound for Glory next week. So and before we get out of here, just want to say thank you again to our guest, Jamie Senegal, representing knockouts everywhere, honestly, and I'm here to be really hoping that she does become a future knockout. Any last thoughts on Jamie before we get out of here?
She's just a fantastic person. Yes. I loved all the stuff she was talking about in regards to the mental health stuff and all that kind. It's a big thing for her. Obviously, being also transgender as well. So I think there's a lot of stigma, with regards to that too. Yeah. And I think it. She's fantastic. Like, she's fantastic, and I hope I really do hope that she fulfills her dream, which probably would be to become a fully fledged Impact Knockout. I think that would be amazing. Yeah.
Someday, yeah. All right, let's go around the horde, give our socials, and get out of here. All right, Alicia, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter under the handle Alicia BKE. I'm also on Discord. I just lurk.
She lurks
I'm
on
always
the
watching.
Discord. All right. And the man from across the pond, Bison.
You'll find me on Twitter at Lord Bison 45. Just there, look. Hang on. There. Make sure that you give me a follow. I'm getting closer and closer to I think 1400 at the moment, so that'd be really cool if we can get a few more of those, get closer and closer to that. That'd be great. Also, you'll find me every Wednesday live with the TNI UK crew, Joker and Simply Steve, as we talk about, or we sort of kind of like, preview into this week, this Thursday's Impact. And we also talk about some of the stuff that's been going on previously and during the week in the world of Impact, some news and all sorts. And recently we're having UK talents turn up on the show as well, which amazing. I think is going really well. We've got a guy on next Wednesday. He's just amazing. He's called Powerhouse Blake, and the dude is a bit of a beast. So go check him out on Twitter. Great guy. He's got a fantastic T-shirt coming out, and I'm definitely ordering it because it's amazing. So go and check that out as well if you want to. But yeah. That's pretty much me.
There you go. Bill?
Normally on Twitter is where you may find me, or on the Discord at my name, William M. Gardner. But then hey, if you'll see me, if you're in Philly for New Japan, see you there. Then after that, it's Bound for Glory and the tapings in Vegas. So next Thursday, I'll probably be live on West Coast time.
Ooh, baby.
Find Bill in a front row near you. All right. And then me, you can find me over in the old Twitter box at JBone5150. That's JAYBONE 5150. You can find this show wherever you get your podcast audio, besides YouTube and Twitch, Spotify, Amazon, Google, and God, I know there's about a billion others. Just search We Talk Impact and it'll pop up everywhere. So thanks again for everybody tuning in tonight. On your way out, don't forget to smash that like button, smash that sub button, and ring that bell for notifications. Why? So that you know when more of our content hits your screen. Good night, folks. Much love.